Episode 40. Wait, I've been doing it a lot. You say it.
What, the intro?
I've been saying the episode number, and you've been saying the...
Somewhat Savants. That's right. I got to say we'll do it reverse.
Yeah, so you do it.
All right. Episode 40.
Somewhat Savants.
Every time I listen back, I'm always like, damn, what is that gay-ass laugh? What is this voice? And then I get over it after like 20 seconds.
See,
It is the weirdest shit hearing yourself. I still don't get over it.
I have the opposite reaction to that.
You're like, I love my voice.
No, not me.
Oh, what you say about mine?
I'm saying your laugh specifically, I thought, oh, that's going to be something he's known for. And as an editor, I'm telling you, unlike that burp, it worked out perfectly where it just crescendoed your hee-hee.
Yeah, and then the beat came in.
So it worked out perfectly. And I also just think it's funny. I think it's your silly laugh.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I guess you could call it that.
When it comes to hearing your own voice, for the longest time, it was probably the worst culprit of that, or offender,
which makes sense because you have more experience behind a microphone, whether it was rapping. Yeah, well, actually, that's what it was. So you had to hear yourself all the time.
Yes,
for the art that you were participating in.
And all those years, I think, have desensitized me to hearing my own voice. There is a weird part of me that now enjoys my own voice. I remember one time complaining to my ex-girlfriend when I was 16, Nicole, shout out, saying something, just feeling totally sorry for myself. I'm a fucking loser. My voice is fucking high and fucking low at the same time. It doesn't know what to do with itself. Or something to that nature. And that is kind of how I feel about my voice. I have these feminine high tones to it, but then at the same time, I can bring it low. And it's not even good. See, I am still self-conscious about my voice, but
I just like resurfaced it for you.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing back all my childhood trauma.
See, if I talk low, like I could talk like this, and then it's kind of got a different... I don't know, but like I talk out of my throat, like it's very a throaty voice, you know?
We are both throat...
Which is ironic because I did so much theater, and I guess I never really mastered the...
From your diaphragm, boy!
Yeah, I don't know, you know? It's weird.
It has always, and will always, I guess, to some degree be weird, hearing yourself, being the one
But I lean into it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, shit. I just, Look, we all got insecurities, and it's just part of the human experience.
Exactly.
So...
But I'm telling you, I was really bad about it. And more so, I guess I could always put up with hearing my own voice because making my own songs and being the one who typically will edit things and be behind the scenes in that nature, you have to get over it at some point if you want something to come out. But when I was younger and was rapping, I started out by completely altering my voice when I was Lil Sushi.
Yeah, because your voice, now that you say that, it was purposeful because it sounded completely different. I feel like if you were to just, spit some bars now.
I'm terrified too. Now, just to give people a little chronological order of what I'm talking about, me and my voice issues. Starting out doing like joke funny raps, we'd go in GarageBand, I would make myself not sound like a chipmunk, but I did have this like... It was unique, but it was a high voice. I would edit, I'd turn the pitch up like 4 or 5 degrees. Chipmunks turn it up probably like 11 degrees. So it was like, it sounded edited, but that was my way of like hiding behind the edit. And I felt like I could be a little more thug and it sounded funny when you turn it way up. Then I ventured into real rap where I'm like, I'm not going to edit my voice. I'm going to really try and rap. But even then, I think I was going through puberty, and I would still take the pitch and turn it up like 1 degree to where it would... Are you getting a call?
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's not...
I was just making sure with the headphones on, I don't know what's going on. Making sure my apartment's not...
It's my boss.
Sorry, boss. More important things going on here. I would still edit my voice and turn it up a couple degrees because of that same insecurity. And there was something about it that made me feel better. Like maybe it's almost like psychologically, like I was editing it thinking it wasn't me. Now, I don't think I would ever do that for a podcast, but I don't even know really what I'm talking about. Oh, I had a funny story, and I want to say this. I was so afraid of people hearing me record. And oh my God, I wish I could. When I get to heaven and God's like, what's the one thing you want me to like go back in your past and recreate or have like on file, just a moment you can have, maybe when your kids were born, I don't have kids, or when you had sex for the first time, whatever. You're in heaven now. You get one pass of like, you can relive a moment. I would go back. I was recording some very serious rap song, and it was in my parents' house in my old room. I'm probably 15, and I'm sitting there, and
Sick bars.
yes, all amazing bars. To anybody listening from the outside, you would just hear me going, to me, I'm having a whole concert in my head. And in this recording, I'm rapping, and then all of a sudden, you hear my mom burst through the door. What do you want for dinner? This and that. And I turn around, Mom, I'm recording. And I just go off on her. And it was all recording. And I was so embarrassed and so mad in the moment.
You're not going to post that, are you?
I deleted it. No, she didn't say anything about that. But I would play that today, and I would shrivel up into a ball and die from cringe. But
you could relive the cringe from this one.
It was has to be one of the funniest things that I've ever recorded. Do you remember the Instagram video where it was right after I got divorced or right after we separated. So like early podcast days is what I'm saying. I was doing ASMR.
Oh yeah.
And then I had my mom.
What did you say on that again though?
Saying something. Oh, it was when your wife was going to come in the next week. Or no, it was that episode. We recorded with your wife.
That's right.
And I was saying something like this, and it's going to be a great episode. And I instructed, it was all scripted. I told my mom, wait 30 seconds and then just burst in the room and say, what do you want for dinner, this and that? And
that's right.
That was directly inspired by that moment.
That moment. Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
So
sometimes the inspiration bank comes from non-conventional moments. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But all that to say, I definitely have my own insecurities with my voice. But having sat down and just, I go through every second of this with a fine-tooth comb. Meaning just every millisecond I sit there and I listen to, in order to do the kind of...
you chase excellence. You chase perfection.
Well, but I've always been that way. And I have this weird obsessive compulsive thing about it. And that's really limited me in some ways because if it doesn't reach a certain bar in my head, this lofty expectation I've set for myself, I will throw the whole game board and say, fuck it, I'm not going to do it at all.
See, that's why you need to read Stephen Pressfield's books. The one who has written The
War of Art
and Turning Pro. Because you had the problem of not letting go of a result. But I feel like you are in love with the process to an extent. But you just need to completely fall in love with the process and let go of the result. Because you do have a nice knack and natural ability, like you said, to go through your work with a fine-tooth comb and chase perfection. Because obviously we can't achieve it. But you do everything in your power with the resources that are available to produce something that is damn near, for what you're able to, which is good. Mm-hmm. You just got to let go of those lofty expectations because that's what's going to drive you mad in the end.
That's why
I've gotten better. I'm not saying I'm innocent of that, though, by the way, because it's true.
You know what I think cured that for you? And this is me speaking for you.
Let's see if you're right.
Doing live theater.
Yeah, probably, because it's never the same.
And once those curtains rise, it's game time. You have to do something. And I also know that feeling, and there's almost no rush like it. Opening night, it's the first time. I think about when I was in High School Musical, and I fuddled my way through rehearsals. The short story of it is my very first acting experience. I went to the audition of High School Musical, the play, for my senior year of high school, thinking I would be a curtain puller because I was helping Mrs. Urgel, Tommy and Michael's mom, shout out, and ended up getting the lead role, just kind of fucking around. I actually rapped at the audition. I can't even sing. And again,
Damn, too bad you're not still into it. You could have auditioned for Hamilton.
Oh, God. Oh, hey, yo, sorry, Hamilton. I have opinions about Hamilton. But the feeling of having so many rehearsals where I was trying, but I was so shy, and I wasn't giving it my all. And then it's like once opening night happened, I just like snapped, and like the weird performer in me came out, and I was like, hey, this is the real deal. There's real people watching you. If you suck,
They gonna know it.
they're going to know it, and it's going to be forever, even though it's not. That was my mentality, and I just snapped, and everyone was like, where the hell was this in rehearsal? So I know that feeling, and for you, I think doing as many plays as you've done, and especially, I want to let the audience in on this, and I want to interview you about your acting experience a little bit for a second. You've done plays where it was just you and another person, and have
With
had
no breaks.
with no breaks, and you have an hour to an hour and a half of dialogue with a person, movements with the person that you have to memorize. How daunting the very first one of those must have been. I can't even
It was
imagine.
Venus and Fur.
And I saw that play, thank God.
Yeah, and we did it in Melbourne and then Orlando. That one was the hardest because there was no break, like literally no break. It started and then it ended. It was 90 minutes. And then I did tape, which also was a start to finish. There was times where my break, like I never left the stage, but you're just not saying as much, but you're still on the stage. And if you can't just like stop being in the moment and acting. So that one was easier because I already did Venus and Fur, which was so hard. And then there was Red, the play by Paul Logan, based on Mark Rothko, the painter. That one was just two people straight through, but the only difference with that one is it was separated into scenes. So there was times where it would black out for like 30 seconds and then it would start again. So essentially you just don't have a break. But nonetheless, Venus and Fur, straight through, 90 minutes. It was like doing a 90-minute scene.
I think the anxiety would overwhelm me. I made this analogy over text message to you the other day. Out of the two of us, you're 100% more and I'm not saying you don't have your moments, and I'm sure you would say that yourself, but you're the cool, collected one, and I'm the freaker-outer. As the freaker-outer, I don't know if I could do a play like that, to be honest, Zach.
Well, I didn't think I could do it either.
What was it like going into... I'm taking an interest in your acting now. And you know why? Is because we started this whole thing being an acting class together. The reason this is going on is because of acting. And what really hurts me is because of the drugs and all the dumb shit I did, I was robbed of so many of your great acting moments. Because I'm going to tell you this. Going to watch you do the play Venus and Fur, which I was fortunate enough to see, was one of, strangely, and I'm not bullshitting you, just preface it with all that, was one of the more proud moments of my life, seeing somebody who I consider my equal, I consider my friend. We started out together and we were doing this.
Yeah, we had no experience.
Seeing you do a play for 90 minutes straight, never fucked up a line, gotten some very uncomfortable moments in that play.
Yeah, that was
It was
very sensual play.
Yes. I watched that, and for an hour and a half, you weren't Zach. And what I mean by that is there's certain actors, you watch them, and it's so-and-so playing a role. In a lot of... I don't want to call out Jack Nicholson, but for me, Jack Nicholson kind of has like a set character. Like he was great in that One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but he's always kind of the crazy guy, man. Here's Johnny. So you're watching, enjoyably, Jack Nicholson go play a character. And then you have the Daniel Day-Lewis's of the world and the Gary Oldmans of the world who morph into that character. And I'll be honest, in that play, in that moment, maybe it was just the night I saw you, that's all I can speak for, you became that other person, and I was so proud. That moment, I was like, Zach's fucking made it.
Damn, your bar is low.
In a community theater in mid to South Florida.
Hey, well, I mean, that did catch the attention of the peers that we made friends, or our peers in Orlando, because then they wanted to put the show on there, and I did it again in Orlando. I thought I made it when I got Mercy Street.
I know.
I was like, I made it. Came back home after a month. Yeah, so your shift starts tomorrow, 10 o'clock. I was like, shit.
Flipping burgers and
making mahi sandwiches, bitch.
Living the dream.
Oh, damn.
The whole plight of an actor, especially now, is one of the more sad stories and sad careers there is. Just begging any opportunity you can get. Look at me. I will be your dancing monkey. And I'm not putting down actors at all because I did it. You did it much more than me. But the way it really is, I'll dance for you. Auditions. Please, please, please accept me.
Well, that's why.
Please like me enough more than the other people. I will be your dancing monkey for your acceptance. And that's like, when you look at it in those terms, Jesus.
Well, I think if you look at what people will do when they like relocate to the epicenters, where people will do all sorts of stuff to get the attention of people, you know what I mean? Like I think of Rami Malek and his story of working at that restaurant and putting his headshots in the to-go bags. Like people will do shit. Because I believe that you can have an audition where it's like super, super good, you really connected, and you lived an authentic moment, and you moved them. But in the end, you could have not been the height, whatever. Like, look at me, look at me, look at me. That's why I really liked when that video that went viral with Bryan Cranston talking about how your job is to audition. Like, that's your job. You need to look at an audition of, I'm given 10 minutes to act for you or whatever. Which, you know, a lot easier said than done to adopt that mentality. And I think if you can achieve that, then, you know, then auditions won't faze you, like with some people. And I'll be the first to admit, I've auditioned for a lot of big stuff over a couple of years, you know. After getting Mercy Street and getting a network television clip under my belt, it really helped sell myself to other casting directors. So I got to audition for, like, you know, The Walking Dead. The last big audition I did before I've shifted gears and completely went into this because of mandates and, you fucking know, was the movie Till with Whoopi Goldberg coming out.
About Emmett Till?
About Emmett Till. Horrible story. I mean, it's an important story, but it is, my God, it is heartbreaking what they did to this kid.
For those who don't know, the brief facts, I just heard something about this, which is so crazy you're bringing it up. He was caught whistling at a white woman and got, did they hang him to death or I think they beat him to death.
They beat him and they threw him in the river.
A black man, just for.
A black boy.
Yeah, very
teenager.
young.
So anyway, the story, a lot of people don't know it. Long story short, huge. I got requested because if people who don't know this, you get an agent that people are like, how do I audition for this shit? You don't just audition for it. You acquire an agent. Doesn't have to be like the best one. You know, there's agents in states and metropolitan areas. You know, I got one here in Florida.
I had an agent for a while.
Right. But, you know, there's better ones in where you live than others. They have relationships with casting directors who cast the movies. And typically you get the roles that aren't leading roles, but for big projects. And to get the audition, the casting director, your agent submits you, and then the casting director sifts through the submissions, and they select who can audition. So say 100 people get selected, they're going to ask for 30 auditions. So if you get an email saying like you've been, they want you to audition, dude, you already made it through phase 1. So that was the last big one I had. But I got into a rhythm, but at first I used to get really emotionally attached to these auditions.
Thinking this is the one I'm going to pop off.
Right.
This role was made for me.
Or like you feel really good after the tape, and all sorts of stuff. Because I'll never forget the feeling of booking the Mercy Street gig. And then I was on a wave that year because I did the VH1 gig. It was crazy. But I'll never forget that my agent calling me saying, like, don't change your look. You're on hold. That's what they call it when you're in high consideration. And then like 2 days later, they were like, I need your social security number because they're hiring you. And I was like, holy shit. So I will never forget that feeling. I was in the Planet Fitness parking lot in Melbourne, Florida. When he called me, it was like 8 at night too.
And that is an actor's heroin.
Oh yeah, and I got addicted to it. And when you get that taste, you can't help but get emotionally attached to the auditions. But some time went on where I eventually detached because I didn't book anything, similar for a long time. I did more plays, a lot more, and I grew in the theater game for sure. So the look at me, it is kind of sad. And I think eventually, 2020, the landscape has changed. Everything has changed. And you realize what's important. And it's not necessarily getting the biggest thing anymore because people do a lot of stuff. They move to Los Angeles. Atlanta's a big spot now. And people will do all sorts of things. Look at me, like, yeah, so I do this gig. They have like 50 gigs. They live a manic life and all for the hopes and dreams of making it. And there's a lot of sacrifice involved. There's that looming feeling that's just constantly riding with you of like, dude, it could just never, you could stay the course for a long time and nothing will ever break. And I don't want to say it's giving up because I feel like there's two different ways you could approach it. You could constantly be grinding to like really land it and to get that job that catapults you by doing whatever. But I feel like if you're too focused on that, on making it, as they call it, you're not focusing on the art itself as much, and inevitably you just don't. Because now I would still do stuff. I'll still do, like, I'm actually kind of interested to like get back into like filmmaking or something.
You do get that itch. I've gotten it.
It never goes away.
I've gotten it several times and over the past few months of like, I want to be in something. I want to be a part of.
Right, and it's fun it actually is fun to make these short films and whatever. But now it's nice because now that I'm getting that itch and I'm kind of potentially like reevaluating, maybe trying to audition for something. Who knows? There's not that attachment anymore of like, you know what I mean? So I almost feel like it's freeing in a way to like not be look at me and just putting, all of that. And I feel like a lot of people who are successful now, they probably were just doing what they do, and one thing led to another. Like you can't really plan something like that. Like in this you can't plan any of that. You can just do what you do. Like I said, fall in love with the process, and whatever happens is going to happen. As long as you put out good work, and I don't even want to say good work because that's subjective. Authentic work from you. You know what I mean? Like you really were in the moment. You were invested in this product that you are showing now the world. And I feel like if you just keep doing that, whatever happens, but at least you can be satisfied and at peace with what you're doing and not attached or just completely engulfed by this looming or lofty expectation constantly.
So taking yourself out of the world has allowed you to look at it from the outside in, and now you are able to re-enter in a much better headspace and be able to pick projects that you may be more passionate about.
Or like, for instance, doing a project and just being like, after this, doing this will get me to the next level. It's more like, no, let's just do a good job on this project now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not that we weren't doing good stuff, but there's that third of the thought process that's focused on where is this taking me next?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I look at California.
Thank God you read my mind. I was just thinking, thank God. We've mentioned it several times on the podcast. You were on the cusp of pulling the trigger and going.
Well, and I tell you what, like you just said, exiting the space and entering in the space with this new clear mentality and vision. Also separating the stupid ideology that almost seems like a prerequisite to even be in this industry, which, you know, fuck yourself. Now I'm back in it, in media, film, whatever. I want to keep doing it, but, you know, you're not going to tell me what to say. And I'm not going to worry about getting, you know, a job taken away. If you don't want to hire me, fine. I don't give a fuck. So back into it, and now I'm like, you know what? Fuck California. I don't give a shit if that's the Mecca anymore, because that place is pretty much a third world country. And it's sad because it's like you said, look at me, look at me, look at me. People will get up, they'll move their entire life to go live in this fucking dystopian third world. And I'm going somewhere with this because we know the video that just came out of that train robbery. People are addicted to drugs. The homeless rate is out of control. Like, I was watching a video, and the homeless are literally building structures. Like, I saw one video, and it was a structure with wood. And he had a grill, and he had fake turf. And it was on the side of, like, Sunset Boulevard or something like that. Like, main road, and it was a house. Literally, like, but no taxes. No property tax for this asshole. I mean, they're just letting it go. And it's not even that he's an asshole, but a city that can just allow it to fall so deeply and then just be like, what do we do with these people? Just let them build. Let them do what they're going to do. Like, this place sounds like hell. And people will go, it's like a monster. You go with these dreams and it just eats you alive. I mean, how many stories of people that go and they have to come back? They can't afford it. They can't live there. The drugs are overwhelming. And then you have Bel Air. And you have all of these places.
Less than a few miles away from a literal hellhole is a quote-unquote paradise.
Yeah. It's two classes. I mean, because if we moved out there now, we would live in a little one-room apartment, studio, rents $2,800. Probably like 10 by 10.
We'd put up a curtain in the middle of the studio. That's Zach's room. That's my room.
I would literally have no room for my shit because I'm like a minor hoarder. Okay? And I love that show. It makes me feel better about it. So we would live there. What would we do for work? Because, I mean, the only thing you can do out there starting out is, you know, some serving job.
Yeah, go
get work with a catering.
Taco Tico.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I have to worry about getting shot on my way to work. And then, or being stabbed to death while working.
And then the same government allowing that man to walk free until his trial.
Yeah. So, I mean, you saw it. That girl that was working at the store, and they caught the dude on security cam. He was just walking by, dressed in all black, with a, you know what else, too? They're all wearing the damn COVID masks. I almost wonder if that was like because like, wear the mask. And then they let this crime run rampant. And then they release them. I almost wonder if it was like, no, we should, like, they want them to, this is tinfoil hat land.
Fuck it.
To wear the mask because they always have that damn mask on. Because what are you going to tell that person? I need to see your face when you come in the store? No. They come in and they just rob. What are you going to do? You don't even know who the hell they are. And so he comes in and he stabs this girl, kills her. Young woman. I saw the picture too.
Beautiful.
Probably moved out there with a dream to live in Los Angeles. She got her stupid job. Pays her nothing, you know, $15 an hour, rents $3,000. You know what I mean? Worthless. No chance of really making any money unless you land that one gig, but who knows what you have to do to get that one gig. Hashtag me too. You know?
You're not kidding.
So it's just hell. And I'll never ever live there. And it'll take so many years to change. So that's happening.
I don't think it'll ever change.
I don't think so either. I mean, I just saw that it just released. We've talked about this. Everyone knows. We love Florida. We live in Florida. It's great. They just released it. 2021 Census Bureau came out. And They showed top states people are moving to and people are leaving.
Okay.
Number 1, guess, that are moving to.
I would say...
Tough guess.
The greatest state in the entire United States, Florida.
Florida. Guess what number 2 was?
I'm gonna say, I guess
the one that thinks they're the best.
Yeah, the one that thinks they're the best, but they're the second best, rolling on in, is Texas.
Correct.
Tejas.
Now, what are the 2 that people are leaving from the most?
Well, common sense would lead me to believe the hellhole abyss that is California would be number 1. And using that same level of common sense, the once cultural hub, mecca of the entire world, what some would say the unofficial capital of the United States might be at one time, New York goddamn motherfucking city.
Correct.
Sorry for my language.
And, of course, we all know those are the 4 most populous states, so you're going to see the most movement between the, whatever. But nonetheless, those 2 are in the bottom, and then those 2 are in the top. There's usually some other random state breaking it up.
Connecticut.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but it just goes to show you, people are voting with their feet.
I like that phrase.
I stole it. I didn't make that up.
Damn you.
Yeah, because when people are unhappy with elections, legitimate elections, how else can they express their frustrations? They're going to get up and they're going to fucking move. Thank God we have states, and states have their own way of doing things to where it can be radically different, especially during these times, compared to if the whole country was under the same rule, we'd be fucked. But I can tell you right now, I got a friend. We should call him. We can call people, right?
Yes, we can with the new mixer.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, I just dialed the number. Take my phone.
Let me see this. Is this connected?
Yes.
Let's call Jeremy.
You want to call Jeremy?
He will explain to us.
He is, for those who don't know...
He knows California.
And he is exactly one of those people who, unfortunately, where Zach is fortunate, took the leap. He started out with us in our acting career and took that leap and said, fuck it, I'm going to California. Literally right before everything went down, too.
And the dude's a character. He's probably got a lot to say. Here, it's buzzing.
Hello?
Jeremy.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing?
What's going on, my man? What's good?
Hey, nothing much, man. Hey, listen, we just got on this topic about California and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And basically, I just went into, I figured I'd call you because you know this better than I do.
Especially, Jeremy, given that, and this is Jared. Hi.
What's up, bro?
What up, dude? You started with us in that small acting community. You were one of the few that had the balls to say, you know what? I'm taking that leap. I'm jumping. I'm going. And I just kind of want to hear a first count experience of what that was like.
So, I moved out to North Hollywood like 3 years ago now. And so pre-COVID, during lockdowns, and then now. Basically, I went out there just to kind of pursue the dream kind of thing. Like everyone tries to do it. And I can't tell you, I need to get the fuck out of here, man. Like, you guys fuck with electric scooters, right?
Yeah, dude. I've rented those in Tampa one night.
Yeah,
I spent a lot of money on those limes.
So you know how they have those bicycles with the electric engines on them now?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, basically, everyone's so fucking worried about carbon and shit in the environment over here, but they don't realize, what's the fucking point of a bike if you're just going to put a motor on it? It's got to charge anyway, right?
Right.
So that's essentially everyone's fucking mentality out here in Cali, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lick of sense.
No, they're hypocrites, dude. Everyone's a hypocrite. And then on top of it, I want nothing to do with the industry anymore, man. I mean, my nephew's basically wearing a onesie to go to the beach, and granted, he's fat, but it's like he's trying to be a fucking mermaid or something, you know?
Yeah,
that's one thing.
You probably
My
see a
aunt-
lot of
my
weird
uncle-
people out there, huh?
Weird people, dude. Let's want to talk about homelessness, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
I was gonna ask
I
you that
literally-
next.
Yeah, dude. I go to buy tacos, right, with my buddy, and he visited me from San Fran, and basically we're eating tacos, and there's this dude next to us, and he's, you know, nothing against the mentally ill or anything, but he's off his rocker a little bit, and he's yelling at people to, you know, give him food, and then he just shits himself right in front of this taco stand, like literally diarrhea running down the leg. Like, I see it, dude, and I'm like, I can't eat here, bro. You want to know someone? This was during COVID too, bro. Like,
Yeah, well, I mean,
you couldn't eat outside, man. Like, what? It's polluted anyway, right? It's like smoggy city central. Okay, I have to wear a mask anyway because fucking my sinuses are gonna go nuts. I'm hawking up black shit.
oh, so
And
you're
then on
saying
top of it,
you wear a mask regardless because it's just so nasty out there.
dude, it's so fucking gross, dude. Like, you know me, I grew up in North Dakota, baby. Like, I'm talking like, it smells good.
That's
but
clean
now
air.
You gotta buy air in a can in Los Angeles, dude. You can't breathe that shit in
God,
because you're gonna catch stupidity or COVID, one or the other.
That is tragic. Well,
What
go ahead.
Jeremy, what was, if there's any difference, the difference between the homelessness problem when you first arrived versus what's going on right now?
All right. So when I first got there, like, it was pretty bad. Like, people, like, okay. So if Mexicans go over the border to get U.S. citizenship, homeless men, man, they go over to California because there's no repercussions to them, man. What is it called? It's considered a cruel and unethical crime to charge them with anything, but they're also allowed to reject any type of like medical assistance. Because if you're mentally competent over there, like if you get picked up by the police and you're a drug addict or you're mentally ill, they're like, oh, dude, you know, we can offer you or house you or something. And they're like, they consider them mentally sound, so they can like reject that treatment. But they can't take them in anywhere against their will because it's considered cruel and unusual punishment. But it's not cruel when a guy shits himself and it's running down his leg, you know?
Especially
Like,
in front of tourists and kids and who the hell else knows.
You like Jimmy Kimmel, bro?
Not necessarily. No. No, I don't. I think he's
All right, well,
a tool.
what I'm trying to say is you got fucking Jimmy Kimmel or Billy on the Street or some shit, right? And when you see it on TV, it's like, oh, this is dope, bro. Like the Cali Dream, you know, the star-studded Walk Off of Hall of Fame or whatever. But the thing is that place is ridden with homelessness, dude. I saw a lady with 2 milk jugs jump into the middle of the street and crack somebody's windshield. And it was pasteurized and homogenized. It's not even real milk, bro. They're fucking radioactive cows that they're milking out here, dude. Everything's fucked up.
I thought you were talking about her boobs for a second.
Yeah, that's
where
what
my
I thought
mind-
too. That's some nasty
her
shit.
Her jugs are fake too, bro, because that's all about California.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's all about
Everything's fake in
vanity.
California. It's okay, dude. The people there, I had a guy that was like, oh, dude, you're an actor? And I was like, right. And he's like, oh, dude, why don't you come over to my studio and I'll give you free headshots? And I was like, oh, that's pretty nice. So I went over to his
Take
studio,
you up on that.
And then, what was that?
I said, I'll take you up on that.
Oh, no, dude, because he basically just wanted to suck my schlong. I went over to his place, and then he's like, oh, dude, we should do some body shots. And I was like, dude, I'm like 135 pounds. I'm a pretty small guy, right? And I'm like, I don't have any, like, lean muscle mass or anything. And he's like, dude, you still need body shots because they want to know if you're, like, going to be in a beach scene or something. And in my head, I was like, yeah, okay. So I took my shirt off.
You're like Baywatch, you know?
Yeah, well, I got real
For skinny
uncomfortable.
white
I mean,
dudes.
Zach, you've seen my body before. I got like moles everywhere, dude. And so I got pretty like self-conscious. And then I was like, I'm going to put my shirt back on. And then the dude started to undo his belt. And he's like, oh, dude, I have a hot tub. Let's just hop in with our boxers. And I was like, what about the photo shoot? Like, what about my headshots, bro? And he's like, dude, we're just going to have a couple of drinks, mix them up. He's like, and then we'll do the shoot later. And then I was like, oh, he just wants a little diamond in the rough here. You know what I'm saying? But it's not even about like, he just wants that prime piece of ass. You know what I'm saying? That real state.
So he
And I
didn't
was like,
care
I'm
about
totally
it helping you out or advancing your career in any way.
No, dude, everyone's weird, bro. You want to talk about Hollywood, dude? That whole, you know that, who's the kid that was Darth Vader in the prequels?
Oh, you're talking about Anakin.
Hayden Christensen?
Hayden Christian. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, so when you grow up in Florida or North Dakota or something, you know, there's always like a local legend, like, oh man, the ice cream guy's a pedophile, or like, oh, don't go to 34th and 2nd Street, like, you know, he's a registered sex offender. Everyone there's like, oh yeah, Hayden Christensen sucked dick to become Darth Vader. And I was like blown away. I was like, what? I fucking love that guy. And they're like, you haven't heard of this before? And I was like, no. And they're like, oh, that's common practice here in LA, dude. Everyone's
So you
got to
suck someone off to get to where you want to go, is what you're telling me.
1,000,000%.
Okay, well,
or
let me.
You gotta be black.
It sounds like you missed your opportunity there, Jeremy. I mean, you could have probably been Darth Vader had you sucked the man off in the hot tub, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. But Jeremy, one last thing.
What?
Did you see that train robbery? Like, what's going on? I just feel like this shit's just not ending out there.
The train robbery?
Yes. Are you not privy to this information yet?
There's a lot going on there.
That you can't even keep up with your own place of residence, can you?
No, the last thing that happened, I don't know, man. I haven't heard about a train robbery.
They robbed all of these packages and TVs out of a train at one of the train yards down there.
Okay.
And anyway,
all the homeless people.
All the homeless people. And the point of this is, as you know, their stores are getting robbed left and right. People are just walking in. They're filling totes. They're walking out. And they can't do anything. The store owners can't do anything. What say you?
I mean, during the BLM protest, our Walgreens got jacked and no one gave a shit, dude.
Okay, I see. Well,
it sounds like the dream that you went out there
I'm
for.
Back, dude.
Yeah, what's your plan, Jeremy?
Fan.
Get out here. Come back to us. Don't go back. Don't go back home. Come back to us.
All I'm saying is In-N-Out Burger is overrated. Smash sauce is a special sauce from fucking Harold and Kumar. Go to White Castle.
We're gonna burn this motherfucker down, Pookie.
Yeah, no, it's In-N-Out Burger sucks. Fucking the homelessness is ridiculous. Don't move out there. Everything's super expensive. And then on top of it, I read that San Fran article about them saying that we should give our kids away. I don't even know if it's a joke or not, like if it's parody.
I couldn't tell either, Jeremy. That was like very satirical, but I feel like they were serious.
If it comes from the San Francisco Chronicle, I don't think they have a satire section.
No, it was an opinion piece.
Okay, well...
you know that Californians don't have a great sense of humor, so I would say that they're pretty serious.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. So basically, Pelosi and her lizard queens want to take our children.
Yeah, dude, I'm just trying to buy, like, farm fresh eggs and, like, some cheese that's from raw milk, and I don't know, I'm trying to...
The simple life. You just want to get back to your roots. You want to get based.
I'm trying to give as many people COVID as possible.
Motherfucker.
But it's been trying. It's kind of hard. But that's basically my story, man. Don't move to LA. Don't move to California. It sucks. I'm just hoping that, like, I don't know, dude. We can't even call Sleepy Joe anymore, dude, because the motherfuckers. He's Snow White, dude, and his whole cabinet's the seven dwarves. They're fucking useless, dude.
Well, let me finish off with this, Jeremy. One last question for you.
Yeah.
Are you boosted?
Am I, like, the vaccine?
Yeah, so have you gotten your booster?
Dude, I haven't even gotten the fucking first shot, bro. I got COVID twice.
How are you getting by in that dystopian city?
Oh, dude. We got illegal cards, baby.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Dude, the majority of people have a fucking fake vax card, bro. No one wants it here, okay?
Figures. I had a feeling that's what they were doing out there.
There's an underground community in LA that's so sick of this shit, dude. I talk to these boomers, and they're like, in the 70s, baby, when Reagan was our boy. Even when Schwarzenegger was in office, bro, the Terminator, they didn't give a fuck, dude. And now everyone's like, the schools suck. I mean, the pizza in the school system's basically made of cardboard. I'm talking like you can't even have Kool-Aid jammers anymore, bro, because they're like the Kool-Aid guy isn't colorful enough. You know what I'm saying? They're like he's too white. I'm like the motherfucker's red. You know?
And he's not even red. He's clear. He's a glass. That's been proven.
I guess it's what's on the inside, you know?
That's what's on the
That's
inside
not
that counts.
It's not. It's what's on the inside, but
All right.
it is what it is, dude. I'm just trying to shape shift like a lizard. I'm gonna chameleon my way out of here, bro. But when I come back, let's hook up, dude. Maybe I can do an in-person cast sesh.
Jeremy, we'd love to have you, my friend. Listen, thank you so much for letting us know what it truly is like to live in the hellhole, the hellscape that is Los Angeles, California. I thank you.
Yeah, you guys take it easy. Congrats on the cast, bros. I love watching it.
Appreciate you, Jeremy. We'll talk soon.
See you, buddy. Love you.
All right. Take it easy, bud.
Well, there you have it, folks. First-hand information.
What a good guy.
He's a great guy.
What did
I honestly don't know why the fuck Jeremy moved out there.
Why anybody moves out there?
I mean, he didn't last
They
long.
get caught in the spell that we got caught up in. We can't blame him all that much.
No, yeah. You get
Why
trapped.
he stayed out there is another story. It could
2020, baby. 2020 will rattle the cranium. That will let you know what decisions you've made in your life that are not acceptable up until this point. And I feel like that's what did him in.
I have heard
Austin, Texas, baby.
Ocala, Florida,
No,
motherfucker.
hold on. I'm saying,
Oh, what?
you know, these LA folk, they got to go to another hip city. Ocala's a little too much for these LA folk.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, if they were to come to Florida, they might go to Tampa, Orlando. I mean, I live in a gay city.
Miami, another
Hey,
notorious.
don't fuck with Miami, bro.
I'm not fucking with Miami.
No, I'm saying those are the Cubans. They know Marxism firsthand.
Oh, yeah, man? You want to talk to me, man?
Bro, I want to meet the Cuban mafia.
What he was saying about there's an entire underground culture in L.A.
They're against it.
I have heard separately from him about people using fake vax cards. I want to say, God damn it, I can't remember. There was somebody on Joe Rogan, maybe it was Tim Dillon, maybe it was one of his other comic friends, talking about most people who are remaining in LA use a fake vaccine card.
It's funny you say that because I was watching another show and this young comedian who was getting interviewed. It's a girl, and she's really short. I forget her name, but she was very emotional on this interview because she was like had all these friends, a circle, and she's got serious health conditions because she's got scoliosis. I mean, she's tiny, but you can tell, a little bit. And she's very sweet based on the interview, and she was saying how like it's terrible because she feels like her whole circle life and people were turning against her when she was voicing how her concerns of herself getting it. But anyway, she went to a club, and I guess it was the tipping point for her in LA, and knows the bouncer, knows the people who are running it, and I guess she was trying to be like, I have an exemption, or I forget the exact story, but they told her no. And literally the bouncer was like, if you just would have showed me any card, I would have let you in. And she's like, they're all using fake shit. She lives in Austin now, but with a bunch of other, like Chrissy Mayer, I want to say. There's an underground, you know her?
I know.
Yeah, she's on Compound Media.
Yeah.
Compound Media.
Look us up, baby. We need you.
But anyway, long story short, they're all moving to Austin. That's my point. So like, if anyone's leaving, that's the closest next best city that kind of gives them the vibe that they wanted going to LA, without moving all the way to like Florida or New York City. But who the fuck is moving to New York City right now?
Nobody. And I do worry that there are going to be a certain percentage of the people who are uprooting from California who aren't willing to let go of some of those California ideals that are going to bring them to these new places.
Well, I tell you what, I think if there's a state that's going to fall first, it's going to be Texas.
100%.
Because of the inundation into Austin, and just, I don't know. I don't trust Texas anymore.
I don't either.
There's something about like, wheelchair Abbott.
Wheelchair Abbott wants to
He's
win.
a little too soft. He's a little squishy.
He's a little squishy.
Vote Chad Prather.
Yeah, he's running, I saw, for governor. I just know most politicians, and I'm going to venture to say, with the exception of our governor, Ron DeSantis, just want to win. So if a massive influx of blue voters come in,
thinking they don't like what they voted in, but then voting it again,
they're going to mold their environment naturally. They might not even be trying to do it, but just through their unconscious actions are going to turn that into the new LA of sorts. Now it's going to be a hybrid. I don't think it will become full-blown LA.
Well, here's the kicker.
Okay.
That border. So that foot traffic of actual residents leaving California and then that border wide open, they're going to concentrate in Texas mostly before they get shipped off. Dude, they win Texas flips, they're going to win every time. Every time.
And I hate that it's got to be this, someone's going to win so we know what's going to happen, but that is how it is.
Thank God for state sovereignty. That's all I can say. Because if Texas turns blue in a presidential election, which I don't know, at this point, it might be questionable, but if it does, with California blue, New York blue, and Texas blue, God, it's tough to win. Because we got to remember, too, even in Florida, when DeSantis won, it was still by a thin hair margin.
Against the meth addict, gay, closeted Gillum.
That dude's fucking nuts. But I think, though, people are like, whew, when they look back at that moment. And now I think DeSantis is just a star in the whole country. People are like, I read comments all the time. They're like, oh my God, he needs to run for president. I wish he was my governor, the best governor in the game. Da, 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 da. And you could tell a Florida resident because they're like, he's ours. He's not going to run for president. Yeah, that's what I say, too. I'm like, fuck running for president. I want that motherfucker to run for president. Stay the governor. Stay the governor, bitch.
And that's where I'm calling on Ron DeSantis now because I know you're watching, because I know you watch Somewhat Savants.
We want an interview.
You're one of the few.
I want to go to the Capitol like Shapiro did.
Please, just for 4 more years, put your own ego aside, look at this beautiful state. And I'm not saying he has an ego, but every human does. Every human in his position right now would think, holy shit, I might be able to take the fucking White House. And any human who has that thought would think, I'm going to do it. Ron, I'm asking you to take that part of you and put it aside for 4 years. Please get us on the absolute right track. And then after eligibility, whatever is up, I wish him the best. I want him to succeed politically because I agree with his ideology. And I think, I'm not going to say I know because this is not a reflection on him, it's a reflection on politicians. I'm never going to say there's an absolute with a politician.
No. Because
I've seen the very conservative Republican Ted Cruz veer the other way sometimes.
Well, he's more... I think what you're trying to say is leadership versus the politic game.
Exactly.
And I think DeSantis is showing more leadership. You want to know a funny story about DeSantis?
Huh.
So remember when I met Glenn Beck?
Yes.
So I went to this event in Kissimmee. Glenn Beck came as a speaker. Oh, that's what inspired us to go to FreedomWorks. I went to an event here in Kissimmee. And there was like a line to meet Glenn Beck. And, you know, we listened to the talk radio. I was like, damn, I want to meet this guy. And I remember getting in line. There's a point to this whole story. And I remember, like, you know, he had to get through the line. It's not like there was, like, a guard or anything. It was on the floor. And I was the last person that was able to talk to him. And he ended up praying with me, like, shoulder to shoulder. Yeah. Because I forget what I asked him. And I don't know. It was like a Ben Carson moment. Mm-hmm. And he's tall as fuck, by the way. He's taller than me. He's like 6-something. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the whole point of that was, I'll never forget when I got to the event, I was in the lobby. Guess who was out front with his little signs before he was anybody?
Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis.
Trying politics.
Before he became a part of the House, because he was a congressman for Florida first.
Yeah, congressman ain't shit. Anyone can. I could go be a congressman.
Oh yeah, then go do it. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I'll never forget that because now I remember when he became governor. I'm like, where do I know that name? And I'm like, oh fuck.
And that's why they do that.
And I'm like, that's the dude who was in the lobby of the rodeo arena in Kissimmee at the damn little event. And you could just walk right up to him at the time. You could just be like, hey, who are you? Like, he was like, I remember I walked next to him and I didn't know who he was. So I didn't even care to really inquire. I was just there to fanboy and see who the fuck was speaking. But I'll never forget that. And now I'm like, damn. Motherfucker has carved a path and has left a legacy.
A very lasting legacy. I remember thinking...
even if he never becomes president.
He doesn't need to.
Well, and one more thing to put the cherry on top here. I watched an interview he did, and the reason I don't think he's in a rush to become president, like you said, the ego thing, which it's probably very tempting because he has a great shot at winning. But I think the reason... Or I think an indicating reason of why I think, I don't think he's in it for those reasons is because he has said in that interview, I want to say it was with Shapiro, I can't remember, I achieved more as governor than I would as president. And he was able to make a bigger difference for at least our state than he would have as president because of the bureaucracy that he has to carve through. But he has, a little bit more... You have more power as a governor to really speedline things in your own state.
Exactly, because...
And he recognizes that...
Thank you. Sometimes it's such a losing battle being president. Like, that's why a lot of people say...
Well, look at Biden. He can't get shit done. Now
he couldn't get shit done.
Well, the motherfucker's half brain dead.
Right. But I know exactly what you're saying.
I mean, they just filibustered his stupid voter bill, trying to get... the voter suppression thing. They didn't get Build Back Better passed, which is just a rebrand of the Great Reset.
Shout out to Joe Manchin.
Yeah, and Kristen Sinema.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, did you see that dumbass? I retweeted it. Who was like, Republicans shook their hand. They should have given her the back of the hand, basically implying that they should have backslapped Kristen Sinema. I'm like, oh wow, you fucking idiot!
How
like
loving.
You want to beat women? Like you're violent? Oh,
how
I see.
Loving? How liberal of you?
Yeah, how liberal. But anyway, like you were saying. It's a long. He literally hasn't done anything except a bunch of executive orders when he first became president, and
he's a puppet,
dude. It's trash. It's comical.
We'll wrap up here in a second, but I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about having Jeremy mention the fake vax reports and just
the cards.
And I know. COVID is a heavy topic on here, but like Zach said in the last episode, the reason we talk about it is because of the effect it has
on society
every single day.
Not us, but it's fun to talk about and observe.
And I'd say most of our viewers are probably not in Florida. So there's a lot of people who sit and listen to us envious, sit and listen to us and ponder, and sit and listen to us and think, wow, here's a perspective from somebody who's not where I'm from. Let me listen to it. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about, just for 2 minutes, the hero.
The tennis player.
That is Novak Djokovic.
Bro, I mean, it's admirable that he has rode this home, essentially.
Taking it all the way to the bank.
All the way. It literally got deported and is not able to compete in one of the biggest tennis competitions, I assume.
Having been, or being rather, the number one tennis player in the world.
And taking it with grace, never being spiteful, never saying anything where else like, okay, you're being a dick, you're not really helping your case, but no, very graceful about the whole thing. And I'm like, dude, this is sick shit.
For those who may be like, who the hell are you talking about? Right now, this would be like if Michael Jordan chose not to play in the NBA Finals because of a government mandate, or if Tiger Woods in his heyday...
He didn't choose to not play.
Correct. He wants to play.
You're They're
right.
not letting
Thank
him.
You. Michael Jordan opting to stand with his own morals and his own beliefs rather than bow down to what a certain governing body says by getting a shot in your arm, choosing not to play instead of getting that. And
Which, by the way, now, are you even fully shit because the fucking booster? I mean, like, I just saw that video of the CDC director being like, you have to be completely up to date now. What are you
so
gonna do
even
when
the
they're
first
four?
vaccine doesn't matter.
I mean, that's what it
If
sounds
I-
like. I don't know how to keep up with this shit anymore, like, as far as their stupid parameters, because I'm not playing the damn game.
No, and it's just boring. It's just so dumb at this point, and I'm predicting right.
But it's about control. It's about who obeys and who doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the point of it all.
I'm gonna predict here and now, we're gonna start seeing COVID talk from the media and from politicians temper back a little bit.
Oh, and they're going to say everything's all good.
And midterms are coming up.
Oh,
They
yeah.
want their people elected. Maybe after that, it'll pick back up a little bit. And then come presidential elections, there might be little to zero COVID talk. And then, given who's elected,
They might resurge with like, new variant. Oh my God, it came back from the dead. The gaslighting is just beginning. They are just getting started because you see the headlines coming out now. CNN just came out with this headline that said new study talking about the effects of mental health with kids in the lockdowns. And I'm like, bitch, this isn't new. We knew this. They're pulling everything back because they, like you said, midterms are coming up. They want their people to win. And they're going to have to change the narrative because people are getting sick of it. Look at the UK. Boris Johnson, he just dropped all the mandates and all the restrictions in the UK. Ireland's doing it tomorrow.
good for them.
I just read that earlier.
And the UK right now is like the model of where we should be with COVID. They've been laxed on some restriction stuff, and right now
They weren't, though, at one point.
right. But right now they're better off cases wise than we are. That could be size. There's a lot of variables that go into that, but I applaud them for doing so.
And real quick, when you say the model for our federal government,
Right.
not Florida.
No.
We're better than the UK is right now. Florida is
Right.
leading the charge in the world, but that's because we have state sovereignty and states can kind of make their own calls at a certain point.
They'll take every chance they get to shit on Florida. If there's a new case in Florida, CNN's covering it.
But notice, that's gone. No one's talking about that anymore.
Because it's a nothing story.
It's a nothing story, and everyone knows it now. So good luck gaslighting us into believing your bullshit in the next few months, because it ain't going to happen with me. It never was. Never was with you. I mean, who are we talking? But for the vulnerable middle, who, they're just trying to live and don't know who to believe.
And that's a scary, scary place to be.
Indeed.
We send our prayers to everybody who's kind of in that weird middle area of what the fuck do I do? Do I move? I know it's such a huge financial and life commitment to make a move, but if you're going anywhere, come to Florida.
And don't live in a place where they arrest people with cerebral palsy for eating in an Applebee's without a vaccination card, or a 9-year-old for being in a museum.
That was New York, wasn't it?
It's always New York.
Fuck New York.
That's what I say.
Fuck California.
Fuck them both.
Come to Florida. We're out.